Welcome back for part 2 of building JD's first hot rod, the 1959 Ford. What we're going to do today is clean up the engine bay, try to spray some paint in there. Just start on getting things generally ready to put the V8 in. So let's dive right in. Alright, so we're going to start prepping this thing for painting. Not going to get any painting done tonight because, you know, we work inside of a waterfall. We're going to pull the heater hoses, pull all this crap out of here, and we'll put it back whenever we're done. We want this to look nice. Alright, you got all the wiring flopped out of the way. Not totally disconnecting anything, but just want to get everything out of the way. Pulled the fuel line out, ignition relay out, and we're going to ignore the rust where the battery tray was because, oh well. Really, I think we're ready. We can just start wire wheeling this. Look at that weld. Do you see that? See all this chicken poop right here? Pretty bad, right? Well, here's the deal, guys. If you think your welds look bad, that's factory. Alright, that's how cars were put together back then. That's something people don't understand when they try to do concours restorations. Everything's got to be just right. Well, guess what? Old cars were never just right. They were always horrible. The dude on this side of the line, he showed up hungover to work, and the dude on the other side of the line, well, he started drinking at work. So, you know, the cars at the end of the shift just weren't quite so good. That's how things were back then. Nothing was perfect. But guess what? It worked just fine. Well, we're here at Farm and Home to pick out paint for JD's 59 Ford. And of course, always go for the super premium. You don't want the economy grade. We're going high class here. What do you think? Well, yeah, so you want blue, right? Well, they probably got white. Here's white right here. We might want a gallon of it. See any other blues?
Nope.
Alright, here's what we decided on. We got a quart of gloss black for the engine bay, parts of it. Got Ford blue, a gallon of white here, so we can two-tone it. It's just as cheap to buy a gallon as it is 2 quarts. So what you need for all of that is naphtha, is how you reduce it. So you of course just pick, you know, whatever the cheapest one is, and then use that one. Alright, well, let's get this engine bay cleaned up.
Yep.
Then we'll try to spray some paint in here. So grab your safety glasses, otherwise the internet will murder me. We're just going to use the universal grit sandpaper here. So here you go, have fun. Yeah, man, looks good. I'd use that to just tickle that firewall a little bit down here.
Yeah.
But where the black's going to go, that all looks fine. Alright, just got to blow it off and, you know, degrease it. Now we gotta do a little masking, so we're just gonna mask off the tops of the fenders, I guess, and the windshield. But I mean, it doesn't really matter since we're gonna be sanding and painting the car more anyway. But we'll mask off the wiper motor and electrical connections, things like that we don't want to get painted. All right. Well, this is all wet, so this will be self-adhering. Perfect. Alright, we're all masked off. Ready to shoot some black on here. Let me show you a secret sauce I'm going to try out. So as you saw, what we got is Van Sickle tractor paint here. And the way you mix this stuff up to spray is 8 parts paint to 1 part naphtha. I like to go a little bit thinner than that. I just go to the equal parts. I go to 8 and then 9. And that's going to be more than enough paint to do this. I usually thin them to eyeball anyway. I know, surprising, right? Then just, you know, use a piece of square body truck trim to stir. And I like to mix it up till it, you know, that's a little bit thick. You want it to start dripping about a second or two after you pull it out of there. The thinner it is, the better it'll lay out. Of course, the more chance you have of getting runs in it, but in this instance, we don't really care if we get some runs. There we go. See it start dripping right away? You can buy a hardener that you've seen me use before for this tractor paint. However, they didn't have any. So we're going to do a little experiment and just try some. This is left over from some paint job or another. And I'm going to add 1 part hardener to this. And what that should do is really up the gloss on it and make it way more durable. It's not going to make it dry faster. That's kind of a misconception. Solvent is what makes paint dry. The catalyst actually can make it dry slower. Uh-oh. Look how thick that's getting. See how thick that is? Maybe that's not... Maybe that wasn't a good experiment. We're going to let that sit in the cup for about 5 minutes and see if that hardens up all the way. If it starts to get gooey, then we know we shouldn't use it. It's feeling better now. So let's give it a few minutes and then we'll check on it. I'm a little bit leery of that yet. I don't want to risk my good paint gun. So we're going to use this cheapo Harbor Freight gun that is well used. It doesn't appear to be getting chunky, although it is fish-eyeing all over this stick. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but not the best sign in the world. Alright, let's go full send mode. Now, JD's never painted before, so might as well show you guys too. This knob controls the pattern. Tighter makes it a skinnier pattern. Wider makes it a fan as it comes out. I'm going to try to shoot down in those crevices, tighten her up, and just hose it down. It'll be fine. We're just painting the frame and stuff. This is volume control. This is how much paint to air you're putting out. Don't mess with it. I've said it pretty good. This is air pressure, and generally, you can see right here we've got 140 pounds of pressure. Then you just pull lightly. 50 pounds of spray pressure. That's a little much. About 40's right. Too much, and then you get pimples in your paint. Oh. So you should be good to go. You want to shoot the furthest away parts first. That way you don't got to be leaning over stuff, right? Yeah. And just lean over and, you know, maybe start painting that frame rail and that apron over there. Nope, pull harder. All right, tighten your fan up a little bit. There you go. Get all the way down on that frame rail there. I'll get in and paint what you can't reach, but you paint most of it. There you go. That's good. Now, make sweeping motions, all right? Yeah. Try to get it back in that corner. Tighten that fan up a lot. That'll work all the way, it's fine. What?
The runs.
You got a lot of runs?
Back there.
Oh, who cares about that? That's fine. Now open it up before you start spraying the aprons again, but this all looks pretty good. Hold the hose, hold the gun, spray the gun. You gotta do everything at once. That looks good. No fish eyes either. It looks pretty good. Looking pretty good. It's a lot to manage, isn't it?
Yeah.
It ain't easy. It's starting to feel a little bit like Cheech and Chong in here.
Well, the real test will be whether or not it dries.
learned a valuable lesson. The lacquer thinner turned all that paint to goo in here. Should have known. I should have used the naphtha, of course, to clean the gun, because the naphtha is what we use to thin the paint. But I didn't know that it would react so badly. The gun might be trashed now. 20 bucks down the drain. Just clean your hands with lacquer thinner. It's really good for them. Dermatologist recommended. Not bad at all for his first spraying. So that's as much as we're going to get done tonight. And hopefully, if this will dry, which it seems to be drying in my nose currently, so should be fine, we will hopefully be able to shoot some blue on the firewall.
Back out here today, and we're gonna paint the firewall and mask it off. Firewall and mask it off.
Alright, so we're going to shoot the blue. We're just going to shoot this one with just no hardener at all and see what it looks like. This is really just kind of an experiment to see what it looks like on the outside of the car. So we'll put this in the paint mixer. Okay, mixed. Use the universal paint stirrer, of course. Cool color. Alright, so if it mixes 8 to 1, that means 4 to half. So we will go to 4 and then half, right? Sure. Time to make a freaking mess, because science hasn't caught up with the fact that it's impossible to pour a gallon of paint. Oh my god. Now that we have way too much paint in here, let's just go ahead and mix it. I don't understand why we can't make a paint can that you can just, pour. It's impossible. It has eluded us for centuries. Alright, let me do a test swipe. See how light I laid that on there?
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. Whenever you're painting colors, it's got to be lighter. Let me try to get the corners, and I'll leave the rest for you. How about that? Start at the top. Try to get that top edge.
Yep.
Make continuous swipes.
Yep.
Nope, further up than that. The top's up here. Alright, so what you want to do, it's not bad here, but look here. You got to stay perpendicular to your surface, like this, all the way. Leave it for now, get it the next time. So go ahead and start here. Alright, now move it half lower. You see how wide the fan is?
Yeah.
You want to paint top half over what you just painted, bottom half on what you haven't.
Okay.
Yep. Alright. Hands off.
No?
Yep. Let that tack. Let me hit this tunnel just a little. Maybe tack it here. I can dust this. I don't want to teach you bad habits. Now we let it sit for about 10 minutes. We figure we'll have extra, so let's put some on the deck lid. We can have a little cleanup work to do. I'll get the tacky coat and you do the rest. Anytime you got paint left over, don't let it go to waste. Just use it somewhere. It'll help kill the rust if nothing else. And there's our blue. Pretty good so far, as long as the paint stays alive. That would be nice. And with our extra paint, we shot the bottom of the deck lid, and of course got overspray all over everything. Because we're both lazy. But we'll clean that up, it'll be just fine. But that turned out pretty good, considering we didn't even prep it or anything. And all in all, this is really just an experiment. See how far we can stretch this blue paint. He's got to go back to his mom's this week. So we'll probably cut this one off here. And when he comes back, I should have another engine for it. Because I just don't like that 390. An 11-year-old shouldn't be able to spin it over at like 50 RPM. We're not going to use that. What we will do is I'm going to go get a 352 that looks like it's in way better shape. And so when we get that back, we'll be cleaning up that motor, painting, Krylon rebuilding it, and also starting on body and paint work on this, and just trying to muscle this thing out as fast as we can. Quick and dirty. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you check out the merch I got in the shop down below. Got hats and hoodies and whatever, shirts. Check that out. And we will see you next time. Remember to hit that subscribe, hit that like, and we'll see you next time on Pole Barn Garage.